Hello, I am Zeynep Vakilzadeh. The subject of my project is the tilt sensor. This sensor has many applications and therefore holds significant importance. For example, in construction, this sensor is used to measure the levelness of a building or its potential slope. There are three main types of tilt sensors. Number one is single axis single output. The sensor responds to tilting around one horizontal axis relative to the downward force of gravity. And number two is dual axis dual output. The sensor contains two sensing elements at a 90-degree angle to each other. Each has an output determined by the angle of deviation from the vertical around one axis. And number three is dual axis single output. A single sensor responds to the angle of deviation from the vertical around any horizontal axis. Since a tilt switch is a simpler device than a tilt sensor, it will be explained first. A tilt switch consists of a metal or plastic cylindrical enclosure, often with dimensions of about 5 mm or by 50 mm, containing two steel balls that may be silver plated or gold plated. When the switch is tilted, the balls eventually move downward, and the lower ball establishes an electrical connection between two contacts or between a single contact and the metal enclosure of the switch. The second ball is included to add weight and reduce vibration in the first ball. But unlike a tilt switch, a tilt sensor is not built around an electromechanical switch. The rolling ball principle is miniaturized and encapsulated in a small housing 10 mm square or smaller, where the ball rolls to interrupt the beam of an internal LED shining on a phototransistor. This is a dual-axis tilt switch capable of detecting tilt in 360 degrees. For this sensor, two angles are defined. The operating angle is the angle through which the switch must be rotated from its normal rest position to activate, and the return angle is the angle to which the switch must return to deactivate. Hysteresis results from the return angle being smaller than the angle that activates the sensor. Types of tilt sensors include a resistive tilt sensor, which has a suspended object. When tilted, the object displaces, changing the resistance, and the tilt is detected. And number two is capacitive tilt sensor, which works based on a change in capacitance. Number three is MEMS tilt sensor, which is built based on a changing capacitance using macro-sized components. And number four is electrolyte tilt sensor, which contains a semiconductive flow. When a tilt occurs, the flow displaces, changing the resistance between electrodes, and the tilt is detected. Tilt sensors are used in turning on or off all thermostats and detecting the filling level of soils. detecting the opening, closing of doors and windows, and turning on the interior light of a car's trunk when it's opened. You can see the mercury tilt sensor, which uses mercury to create a connection between contacts, but it has been phased out due to the environmental hazards. There are also pendulum and magnetic sensors. And problems with these sensors include contact erosion, random signals, environmental hazard, and dependence on Earth's gravity, and etc. This is the tilt sensor circuit. You can purchase the circuit components from the Mahtab passage on Sadie Street. Circuit components include a battery or Arduino as the power source, several pieces of wire, a breadboard, a resistor, a buzzer, a mercury tilt sensor, and LED. In this circuit, the tilt sensor acts as a switch. When in a horizontal position, the circuit connection is established, the LED turns on, and the buzzer sounds. However, when it's in a vertical position, the connection between the mercury and the contacts is broken, and the circuit is disconnected, the LED turns off, and the buzzer doesn't sound. In the next clip, I'm going to show you how to work with the tilt sensor circuit. You will see that when the circuit is in the horizontal position and the mercury touches the contacts, the connection is established. But in the vertical position, because the mercury doesn't touch the contacts and the circuit doesn't make a connection, neither the buzzer sounds nor the LED lights up. Therefore, we conclude that the choice of tilt sensor entirely depends on the user's functional needs, and it has a wide range of applications in the world of modern robotics and electronics. Thank you.